Okay, so we're about to take it out for a spin. Robert's going to be driving first, and then I'm going to take over in a little bit, and then we're going to do, in a separate video, a review of what it's like to be chauffeured. Didn't know you were going to be a chauffeur today, did you?
Well, no, but I'm excited to find out.
All right, hey, let's see how this big Beamer hustles. So, right out of the gate, 4.4 liter twin turbo V8. How many horses are we packing, Rob?
Enough.
Woo!
And of course I know I'm speeding by my red coloring on my head-up display in front of me.
Yeah, of course we have to talk about the heads-up display. That's another one of those cool little features that make this actually almost more of a driver's car than a passenger's car. Because of course you've got the backseat comfort, which is great, isn't it?
Yes.
But alternatively, BMW has still driven to make this the ultimate driving machine.
That's right. The way the head-up display system works is it shows you the speed limit for the exact road that you're on, plus it also tells you or shows you the speed that you're doing at the present moment or what your cruise control is set to. Along with that, it'll also show you things like different information that you wish to see as far as radio presets or navigation routes. All of that information is displayed on the windshield in front of the driver.
The road that we're on right now is a bit potholed, and honestly, this car is taking it with the greatest of ease. Maybe it's just I have to redefine comfort for myself, but this is... I've never ridden in anything this comfortable. Honestly, before this, my bar of comfort was placed on the marshmallow ride of a Mercury Grand Marquis. Robert's probably about to insult me for comparing this to a Grand Marquis, but again, when you're jumping into something like this, you have to readjust where your tolerances of comfort are, because this is like something out of this world.
Keep in mind that we're in sport mode, not comfort mode.
Oh, we're in sport mode.
So I'll adjust it to comfort mode for you. That way it'll adjust the suspension and transmission accordingly to make it a comfortable ride. Notice right now that the car is actually slowing itself down without me doing anything. That's based on the active cruise control of the vehicle in front of me. I have my cruise control set, the car is doing the rest. So I'm not touching the brake pedal, my foot is completely away from it, and the car is doing the rest by itself. So that is part of the intelligent safety features on the BMW 7 Series. Along with that, you are going to pick up a couple of different features such as active lane keep assist, and I will demonstrate that here in just a moment, because I will set my cruise and let go of the steering wheel and let you watch it keep it between the lanes, which is actually a very nice feature.
Okay, Robert is currently no hands driving. This is not quite fully autonomous driving, but it is lane assist. It keeps the car in the lane markers, as Robert said. Another interesting fact, in a previous video, I'll put the link right here, we talked about the carbon core construction, and that was actually made possible by research and development done in creation of the i3 and i8. You might have heard of those. They're kind of a big deal. BMW spent so much money on developing carbon fiber framed cars that why not spread it to the rest of the range? And this is the first car to come with that carbon core construction. All right, the first thing you notice is when you go to take off, the seatbelts will actually tighten up a little bit to meet you. I guess that's to keep you in the seat and keep you planted. And it's hard to imagine something this big, something this massive, feeling like a compelling driver's car. But even from the first couple of seconds driving it, the throttle response is right on. And that's really a lot to say from a twin turbo V8. This thing makes a lot of its torque way down low, so you feel that pull instantaneously. A lot of other smaller turbo cars sort of feel dead at the bottom end, but because this is a big meaty 4.4 liter V8, it's instantaneous. It's there.
I actually would like to go back and mention the seatbelt retraction that you felt whenever we first got in the vehicle and you took off. What that's actually doing is measuring you. And the reason why is because you wouldn't need the same kind of airbag impact as a 230-pound man would, because you're not 230 pounds. At that point, that would do more damage than good. So what it's doing is it's actually measuring, because this is a dual-stage airbag system. So it's measuring the amount of force that it would need in the event you're in a collision.
Something really interesting that Robert just pulled up on the center display is a horsepower and pound-feet of torque usage meter, I suppose. And it shows you just how much of that power reserve you're using while you're cruising down the road or hustling it down a back road. Right now, I'm using very little of it. The steering feel is right on. Big, thick, leather-clad steering wheel is a pleasure to behold and hold. It's got great turn-in, and it shrinks. You know that this car is huge. It's a big car when you first get in it, but then as you start to drive it and hustle it around these curves, it just sort of shrinks to meet you. Just like the seatbelt and the seat measure you, it feels almost like you measure the car up and find as you're driving it, it gets about 4 feet shorter, and it feels more like, I'm not gonna say it feels like a small sports car, but it does feel amazingly athletic. And once again, looking at the power reserve, I'm using none of it. It's almost like this thing is like, okay, when are you gonna actually put your foot in it? Well, let's see. Woo! I got up to about 340 horsepower on the power reserve gauge, which is nothing. This thing tops out at 480 horsepower, which is, that's a lot. To put it in context, when I was younger, I thought 350 horsepower in a C5 Corvette was mind-blowing. But now we live in a world where you've got power in everything, and your large luxury cars are making almost 500 horsepower. 10 years ago, that was the realm of cars that broke speed records, but now you have that with quilted leather seats, air conditioning, everything. It's amazing. This really is a great time to be a car enthusiast, I gotta say. While I was driving the 7 Series, I kept looking for something to complain about, but the only real complaint I have is that I can't afford one. But honestly, it's an amazing car, and if, in the immortal words of Ferris Bueller, you have the means, please give it a try. You owe it to yourself.
My name is Robert Bullard, and if you're interested in any of the BMW or Mercedes-Benz brands and the different vehicles that they offer, be sure you give me a shout with the information listed below.
All right, I'm gonna nervously. Oh, I can't do it. I can't.
The cruise
let the
control
car
is
brake.
not set.
Okay, good. I
The
didn't
cruise
try.
control has to
Okay.
be set for that. Yeah.
The cruise. Note to anyone. Exactly. My wife / camera woman in the back is very happy that I didn't let the car do that, because this would be the last Shooting Cars test drive that we ever did. I don't imagine stuffing a big money 7 Series would
Little white Jeep.